The safest horse fence that you'll ever buy.
Cameo fencing.
It's incredibly easy, right?
It's incredibly easy. You'll never want to put a piece of wire up again.
Normally you'd see maybe a wire inside there, and I don't see a wire inside here, but I see a wire on the outside of this one. What's the difference between these two products?
This is the Cameo Pulse. This gets electrified. And this is just Cameo. And you're right, there's no wire inside of it. It's not a vinyl coated wire or anything like that. Even a vinyl coated wire will hurt a horse. You know what I mean? It doesn't stretch.
And this is supposed to be a lot safer than a traditional high tensile.
It's extremely safe. Horses are flight animals. You know what I mean? They take off running, they don't care what they run into. Whether it's boards or smooth wire or 2x4 wire or anything like that, it can hurt a horse. This stuff will not cut a horse. It's super safe. It stretches. If a horse runs into it, it won't give them that cheese cutter effect. Like if they run into smooth wire, it'll stretch. So by the time it stretches, the horse usually realizes, whoops, I made a mistake, time to back up. And it's super easy to install. That's what I love about it. Like anybody can put this stuff in.
So this looks like a really, really easy set of tools. Like most people are gonna have this, right?
Everybody has this laying around their house.
So we got tape measure, we have a drill, I see a couple bits here, a screwdriver, and a crescent wrench. That's all we need.
That's all you need, man. $100 worth of tools. The first thing we want to do, Mark, is lay out our post.
Okay. But before we can install any fence, we need posts in the ground. And to do that, we're gonna be using the Bryce 180. I set it up for this to be inside. All these faces line up.
That's a good point, because a lot of people ask that question. Everybody wants to put their fence on the outside.
You put it on the pressure side.
You want to put it on the pressure side.
So if the animals are on this side of the fence, I want to put the wire on the same side as the animals.
Yep.
Because what we want is we always want them pushing the wire to the post, not away from it, putting all that pressure on the fasteners. And we drove all these posts just a second ago to 54 inches. Why does 54 inches work?
Well, I like a 48-inch fence. And again, it all depends on your horse. Some people need a 5-foot fence. Some people are good with 4.
We keep them in with 2 strands of rusty barbed wire around here.
Well, I've seen that a good bit.
Yay high. These horses, they love where they're at, I guess. I don't know.
Piece of ribbon tied on it. We go to 48 inches to the top of our fence. So the first thing we want to do is find the top of our top mark. And we'll just mark it at 48 inches. I like to do these just one at a time, because around here it's pretty flat. Where I'm at, we're on hills. So we'll mark them at 48, we'll put the top strand on, and then we'll stand back and we can move that top strand up or down to make it flow real pretty with the ground.
All right, and then we'll set everything else up based on that.
We'll set everything else based on that.
Gotcha. Now, can you tell us, another thing I noticed right away is we don't have any bracing. This is just a really good solid post. This thing's set like 3.5 feet in the ground right now. It's not going anywhere, but I wouldn't want to put any kind of like really serious tension on it.
Man, this stuff doesn't have the tension of wire.
So it doesn't have to be stretched. So
well, you stretch it, but it doesn't have to be stretched like you would typical wire.
But you're not getting out a wire stretcher and going as crazy as you can get.
We're gonna stretch this with one hand.
So the purpose of this isn't to be tight like a normal fence, it's to be a visible barrier.
It's a visible barrier that stretches. We don't ever build H-braces anymore. If you got a post driver, that works great. A lot of people don't. So we'll just dig a hole and use 5 or 6 bags of concrete, 60-pound bags of concrete to hold our corners and gate posts in.
Which we don't recommend because we don't recommend using concrete with wood. Now, if you want to use pipe, then heck yeah. Native soil, gravel, whatever you want to use, but not concrete. Concrete actually eats away at the tree. But you do you. You do you. I'm not here to tell you what you have to do when the video stops, okay?
All right, this is what you'll need to do the corner post. So the first thing we're gonna do is mark the inside of the post. Our fence is gonna be at 48 inches, but we've obviously got a drop in our insulator of 1 inch. So we'll mark that at 1 inch below so that it sets where we want it to set. And that's where we're gonna drill our hole. We'll come back around. We got 48, 40, 32, 24, 16, and 8. Our second strand is gonna be the one that we're gonna make electric. Our second and our top one. So we'll go back to the other side and we'll transfer this mark around. We're gonna drop it 1 inch lower to make up for our rise on the gate insulator.
Okay, so I'm a simple-minded guy. I'm kind of slow. Would it be better for me to make a story pole and just mark out all my things with a story pole and then just throw the tape measure away?
Yes,
then I
it
don't
would.
screw anything up?
Yes, it would.
There you have it, folks. A story pole with all your marks on it, and that goes for just about any fence. And you can make a story pole that measures down from the top if your posts are all perfect to height, or you can make one to go up from the ground. So that's just a shortcut you could use.
We'll drill the 2 holes here for our insulator.
And you're gonna want those holes to be as close to in line with the fence as possible.
Yep.
You wouldn't want to drill it cockeyed going off that direction. It's just gonna put extra stress on it.
And then we'll go ahead and drill the holes for the Cameo. Then we'll take our Unibit and we're just gonna hollow out these holes so that our one-way vise fits in flush. Now our one-way vise will fit in snug against the pole. And the beautiful part is it seems like a lot of work because we're only doing 150 feet here, but you can do this every 3,000 feet if you have a long enough run.
Perfect. Do you have a little tool to make putting those in easier?
I do, called the end of a crescent wrench.
You can show us your poverty tool, and then at the end of the video, we'll drop a link to our tool down below and show you what that looks like, but it would save a lot of time for doing this.
If you're a homeowner and don't have one, you can use the end of a crescent wrench.
Or if you're just like balling on a budget, you just don't have money for all kinds of fancy gadgets and gizmos. My installer doesn't do that. It doesn't slip.
Is this the part where you like speed it up and it makes it look like I'm doing this real
Yeah,
fast?
just mental note 4X this so he looks super fast.
You want to run that one in about there, put your nut back on top.
Oh yeah, see there's my inch, huh?
Yep, like I said, that's why we dropped the hole to make up for that. I'm gonna put that one there and put this one in the bottom. These are the corner collars, and they just sit on the fence just like that, screw in the top, screw in the bottom.
Those are kind of neat. I've never seen one like that. And this must be your pin you just tear off.
Once the line's in there, you just pin it in.
That's just slightly different than the line posts that I see over here, which are more of a traditional insulator style that just get screwed on with your screw of choice. If you want it to last a little longer and you want to use stainless steel, then that's your prerogative. That's an option.
And what we do is we only put one screw in it right now. Like I said, once we get that top strand on,
Because we may have to adjust this.
we may have to adjust it to make it look real pretty. And that just screws on right in the center of your mark. And we can go ahead and put all these on because your corners and your ends don't change. Yep. But again, make sure you put the bracket in the middle of your mark there.
But all these marks are 8 inches on center. So we have a wire every 8 inches on this particular fence. You can do it however you like. If you would only like 4 wires, you can do 4 wires, but we're setting this up for like maximum efficacy.
You know, we've done 4, we've done 5. You know, sometimes you'll see a fence and it looks like it's incomplete. In 6 strands, it looks more complete. It looks more finished than 4. When you do 4, it just looks like somebody cheaped out on a fence. And the visibility of it for the animal.
That's the other thing I was gonna say is it's white, so we have really good like eyesight visibility. Instead of a wire that blends in, we've got this nice white, bright contrast.
Is it usually this hot out here in the summer?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'll get to 100 and some.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So there's what the corner looks like. We can go down here and finish this last end post.
40, 32. And then I think we're gonna go 24, right? And then like 16 and then 8.
Yep.
Now do we need a mark on the other side?
We do for our electric.
We need a 16 for this one.
But go ahead and mark it at 15 so that we get our drop.
Oh yeah. See, that's where I wish I had that story pole. I almost goofed that up. Oh, hey, no. You know what you did? Yeah, you did this. You forgot the step.
You do one back?
Yeah, you go one backwards and it'll lock it on there. So it doesn't, like sometimes when you spin really fast and you stop and it's free spooling, it'll unwind itself. But if you go as tight as you can forward and then one click backwards, it locks them.
Really? Yeah. Is that a DeWalt thing?
No, it's everything. It was a Milwaukee guy that taught me that.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, just go back a little bit.
Do you know that?
Yep.
Man, there's the end post. So what we'll do is we'll grab our pulse and we'll just go for a walk. That comes off and just pins the corner shut. Like I said, what we'll usually do is one guy will grab this and walk and one guy will follow him because he'll be dragging 2 lines at a time and snapping these in as we go. When we get to the end post, I just like to wrap it twice.
It just prevents the loop from popping off, I
Yep,
assume.
it prevents it from popping off. You got these electric line connectors. That guy just unscrews, put your line in there, and sometimes an extra set of fingers helps. I like redundancy in it, so we put 2 on there.
Okay.
Make it nice and pretty.
And if you don't care about your razor knife, you could use a razor
You
knife.
could use a razor knife, but that does have stainless in there. So now what we do is we come back to this end.
Do you have so many of these at some point in time that you would not want to put it in them? Because you're not going to pull it through 300 insulators. You're going to have a lot of friction.
You can pull it through 500 insulators.
Really?
Yep. I mean, you can stretch it for half a mile. We'll cut it off here. Same thing we did on the other side. We'll wrap it twice. And what we'll do to tighten that mark is we can see down the line, once your sags come out between your poles.
Is that tight enough?
Right there, man.
That's it? I don't go like this?
Don't go like that.
Okay, sag's gone. Now we're good.
Yep, that's perfect.
Because I did this once before, now I know what to do.
We use this like polypropylene, this nylon-based stuff. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the horse rope out there. It's almost like a cotton. This is a twist as opposed to a braid. I prefer the twist because it doesn't hold dust or dirt like a braid does. If you've noticed, braid after 3, 4, 5 years, it'll get enough dirt inside of it that'll actually start to mold and mildew. Maybe not out here. Obviously everything will grab dust, but after a good rain, it comes off this stuff much easier than it does a braid. While you got that up there, that's got 9 strands, stainless steel inside of it. That's actually what gets electrified. Usually we do 2 strands at a time, but because this is just a short run, we've only done 1.
I thought it was because you didn't think I could pull 2 at once.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to overwork you today. It's
8-year-old girl muscles.
This right here is the reason we don't put all the brackets on at the same time. Can we look down that line?
Yeah, look at that one right there. That does not look great. So I got a little bit of a high spot maybe right here, and then a little bit of a low spot here. So we're gonna adjust these to get them just right. Make it look real nice.
Right there. And that next one's gotta come up about an inch right there. And that's perfectly straight, pretty, flows with the ground real nice.
Yeah, so that's looking real good. Are we doing this the same way we did the last one?
Same way we did the last one.
Run it through as we go.
Here, why don't you come feel this?
Okay, I'm gonna do this. Let's see if my 8-year-old girl muscles can handle this.
This stuff, when I'm mowing, you can run into this with a lawnmower. Like I've got a 0 turn and the side sticks out. I can run into it and push it with the lawnmower to eliminate my weed eating around my fence. All I've got to do is around my poles.
I'm guessing we're going through.
It'll feed through that hole, take your one-way vise, and sometimes it's easier to cut that a bit of an angle, help it feed through a little better. Give yourself about a foot, Mark. Yep, there you go, slide it in the hole. That's this side. Now we'll come back down to this end.
I go at a diagonal.
You just pull it till the sag's out. It holds just like that. That's the Cameo, man. That's it. If this is 500 feet or 1,000 feet or 3,000 feet, how hard is that to stretch? There's no come-alongs that go along with this.
Yeah, it works good. Okay, so what do we do if we need to join 2 wires together or if we have a cut?
Well, who's crazy enough to cut their fence? Literally, we just cut our fence. That's how you put it back together. How many fences can you fix that fast?
Not many. Something else I was wondering, we didn't talk about post spacing, but you had us set this at 12 feet. Is there a reason that we use exactly 12 feet, or is that just what you found works good, kind of like your 8-inch spacing?
It's what we found works best. 16 is just a little too much. 12 foot just kind of works out. It was the magic number.
Would we be able to use some pipe with this? I'm not a big proponent of using wood because it rots. Could I use steel pipe here and steel pipe posts?
You can use steel pipe. You just got to drill it pretty much the same way, or you can use a gripple and go around it.
We would need to probably do something a little different here, but it wouldn't be too hard to find
some kind of bracket to screw
a bracket
post.
like a J-bolt or something like that we could attach this to.
We do have brackets for T-post.
Well, so, I don't like T-post, but I was thinking like if I wanted a really nice black powder coated pipe, that might work pretty good, huh?
Yeah, no, you could definitely use black poles.
Man, that weather's moving in. So that's what you're getting out of this, is you're getting all that flexibility. Not to mention, and I'm not cut up. Oh no, I didn't die. Now you know exactly how Cameo fencing works and why you might want to use Cameo fencing on your next horse fencing project for the absolute easiest and safest horse fence out there.
And it's the most affordable, it's the safest thing you can put up for a horse. A homeowner can do this. And again, we only did a short section here, but you can stretch this 1,000 feet. It's the same result. When you can just grab a piece and run with it, it's incredibly easy to install.
So if you're looking for some great fence, check out our link down below where you can buy all these products right here at SWI and support Cameo Fencing in Clayton. Thank you for your time. I hope you've enjoyed fishing out here.
Man, thanks for having us.
Don't forget, I'm Mark with SWI.
Clayton with Cameo Fencing.
And until next time, I hope you have a good dang day.